So, while I'm uploading my video about this stuff, all the attendance, I might as well cover something that, people mentioned last night after the game. What are your feelings about the Jordan Subban trade? I'm going to be honest. Nick Dowd is a filler that was brought in, I think, because Jim Benning knows that what they have in the American Hockey League either isn't ready or isn't capable of filling in on a regular basis. And Jordan Subban was never playing a game for the Canucks. Travis Green came in as coach. He coached Subban last year. Subban was one of the first cuts in camp to go to Utica. As soon as that happened, his time in Vancouver was done. Subban can score highlight reel goals. Subban has incredible offensive talent. Subban's a forward. I know it says defense on his resume. I know it says defense on all the sheets that I've seen and all of his prospect reports, but the guy plays like a fourth forward. And you can't, because you're putting too much pressure on your defense partner because he's the only defenseman. So you're going to allow a lot of 2-on-1s and 3-on-2s because he's going to be in the wrong end. He's going to be in that corner trying to make a play. The Canucks worked with him for years on this. They've been working on his defense, and I think they finally decided to cut him loose. This has been coming since training camp. So I don't see this trade as making a difference for anybody. The LA Kings might be able to make something of Subban. Subban, I would think, at most, ends up being a 5'6" guy who can run your power play. On Discord, I was asked if I would compare him to Yannick Weber. No. Because for me, Yannick Weber was more responsible defensively. Yannick Weber could run a power play as well, but Yannick Weber's more responsible defensively. That's why Yannick Weber was picked up by Nashville. Nashville doesn't pick up defensemen who aren't responsible at both ends of the rink. Now, looking at other moves that have happened over the last little while, Tanner Kiro's been sent down by the Blackhawks. He cleared waivers. I'm actually surprised he cleared waivers. Nobody took a shot at him. This allows Vince Hinostroza to come up. Hinostroza's been playing fantastic in the American League. Now he gets to come up and play for Chicago. Chicago needs that influx of talent. Mike McKenna got sent down by Dallas. I'm not surprised by that. Tyler Bertuzzi's been called up by the Red Wings. There was a plan in place for Bertuzzi to make the team and play, and then injuries got in the way. So he'll have every opportunity to play. TJ Brennan sent to the minors by Philly. That doesn't surprise me. Carter Hutton has been placed on injured reserve by St. Louis. That does cause some concern if you're St. Louis, because Carter Hutton's been a fantastic backup for Allen. He's been a handcuff to the point where if Allen's not playing particularly well, you can bring Hutton in. Now you're going to have a question mark behind Allen. David Perron's been activated from the injured reserve, so good news. They just got better. The Golden Knights just got better. And Grayovac cleared waivers and gets sent down. Grayovac's a guy that I see him as just a tweener. He's going to be NHL-ish. Hampus Lindholm, of course, is on the injured reserve for the Ducks. Lindholm being injured for the Ducks it's a pretty large blow in that they already had all their forwards hurt, and now Lindholm's hurt, and this is just after they traded Vatanen. Yeah, it just adds. It's just piling on. Spooner's on the injured reserve for Boston. Spooner's kind of injury prone at this point. Corrado got called up by Pittsburgh because of the Justin Schultz injury. Of course, they won their game without Justin Schultz last night. We'll see how they do while he's injured. Michael Bodker's been placed on injured reserve by San Jose, which doesn't really affect them in that Bodker hasn't been the player that I think they had envisioned when they brought him in as a free agent. Ville Husso's been called up by St. Louis, of course, because of Hutton. So Husso's going to get a shot at playing, I would think. There's Chaput being called up by Vancouver. If Chaput plays over Nick Dowd, I'm not going to be happy. Michael Chaput makes an effort. He does. He makes an effort. But during the preseason, I noticed he wasn't making much of an effort. And there were Canuck fans who said, well, of course not. It's just the preseason. It doesn't matter. Then he got waived and sent to the minors. So it did matter to somebody, not just me. I just don't see Chaput as an NHLer. He has 15 points in 20 AHL games, but he only has 17 points in 126 career NHL games. Remember, Bo Horvat's on the injured list for probably 6 weeks. Bo Horvat being on the injured reserve. The funny part is this. Horvat's out, and there are people panicking. As a Canuck fan, I'm not, because the offense doesn't run around Bo Horvat. Brock Besser was the only one that scored last night for Philly. The offense goes through Brock Besser. Besser's already playing first-line minutes, and he's already at a stage where teams are keying on him, and he's still scoring. So I'm very proud of him. It's pretty awesome. The Canucks called up Thatcher Demko. It's not clear yet why Demko was promoted. Probably just for cap reasons. Give him a couple of days of NHL pay and then send him back down. I haven't heard anything about Nelson being hurt. And there was another one that cleared waivers. I just want to get to that one as well. Rocco Grimaldi got sent back down. Well, I don't even think he played. Harry Sateri got brought up by Florida. I don't think he's going to play much, but Luongo could be out for a while. So while Luongo's out, look for Sateri to get into some NHL action. Be interesting to see how he does, because he's always been on the verge of getting to the NHL. He always just seems to be the number 3 guy. And again, here he is, the number 3 guy, but he's finally getting a shot. Eric Sinek got called up by the Wild as well. Eric Sinek struggling as an NHLer this year. We'll see if he can get it going. And of course, as people pointed out, Neuwirth is out. So Alex Lyon came up, and we'll see if he plays. This is where Stollers would be playing if he wasn't hurt, right? Philly's future could be Stollers, but he's been out for quite a while. It says Brendan Manning dealing with an unspecified injury. I didn't even notice he was playing last night. I might just successfully ignore his existence. And Greg McKegg was waived, and nobody claimed him for Pittsburgh. So there you go. There's your injured list, my view on the Jordan Subban trade, and the Horvat injury. I'm not overly concerned with the Horvat injury, only because this wasn't the Canucks year anyways. And it's funny because I say these things and people will say, "Oh, you're not a real fan if you don't think." Well, I can look at one of my favorite teams and say, this isn't their year. So if they do well, great. But they're not a Stanley Cup contender, so I'm not really overly worried about it. I just want to make sure that Besser progresses, that Demko progresses. Keep an eye on Pettersson, Dahlin, and all their prospects, and make sure that everybody is progressing properly, because you want to be going towards something great. And in order to do that, you have to see the big picture. I try to make sure I see the big picture, which is part of the reason why I did a whole attendance video that's uploading right now. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If you're a Kings fan, let me know what you guys think about Nick Dowd. I know Dowd had fallen out of favor. Believe me, Subban fallen out of favor in Vancouver as well. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through and you just happen upon this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.